Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing today? Welcome, 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 welcome. Mwah. Welcome to Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. It is Friday, May 15th, 2020. Can you believe it? It is the middle of the month. Yeah, the month just started, hasn't it? Yes, and already it is the 15th of the month. Wow. Guys, guess what today is? Yes, today is National Children's Day. National Children's Day today. And so we want to wish all our children, wherever you are in Jamaica, we want to wish you happy Children's Day. Guys, do something wonderful for your children. And if you don't have any children for other people's children, it's okay. Find a child and do something wonderful for that child today, okay? And you were told that you were supposed to wear yellow today, right? The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the CPFSA, they instructed us or advised us to wear yellow. Well, I'm going through my personal challenges myself, so I could not avail myself to my yellow outfit. So all I could find that had yellow in it was this, what I'm wearing right now. So it has a little yellow in it. So this is the best I could do. So forgive me for not wearing my pure yellow outfit. My challenges prevent that from happening. Yeah. Yeah, we all have our challenges, don't we? Absolutely. But when life gives us lemon, what do? We make lemonade. Absolutely. So again, happy National Children's Day to all the wonderful, beautiful children out there. Okay. Yeah. And even though it is Children's Day and part of National Child Month, right? It's still all of May. The month of May is Child's Month, right? We still have our children being disadvantaged, don't we? We still having challenges with our children in terms of how we raise them, right? In terms of their infrastructure put in place for them, right? And so today, to observe National Children's Day today, Omega Life program today is dedicated to the children. Yeah, absolutely, and not only to the children, or more specifically, a specific cohort among the total number of children we have in Jamaica who are under 18 years of age, right? And I'm going to be dealing with the high school students, right, who have to do their CSEC, yeah. So today's program we're going to be talking about that today, yeah. But of course, before that, I have to give you the news, guys, and then I give you my 2 cents. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows I'm very opinionated. Yeah, and I like my opinion to be known. Yeah, absolutely. I don't pretend to know everything, of course not. However, what I know, I share with you. I'm a student of knowledge, just like you. We are at different levels on this journey called life, right? And so my decisions are informed based on my reading, based on my watching, my listening. Yeah, 2 ears, one mouth. I listen a lot, guys. You'd be surprised how much I listen. Persons aren't even aware of my ability to listen keenly. Yeah, I talk, but persons don't recognize how much I listen. I listen a lot. And when you think I'm not even listening, believe me, I am listening. But I process things fast, right? My brain processes things quickly. And so it might appear sometimes as though I am not listening, but I am a very, very keen listener. And if you want to test me to see how much I listen, you ask me a question a year from now and you'll see how much I listened. Yeah. It is a phenomenon. So anyways, even as we are celebrating Child Month and today National Children's Day, I do have an Ananda alert that I have to give to you guys. Yeah, so there is an Ananda alert being activated for 16-year-old Kaylia Bryant of Glen Drive in Kingston 8 area. She was last seen on Wednesday. That is this Wednesday here, guys. Today is Friday the 15th. Wednesday, which is the 13th, at approximately 4:30 p.m. was the last time she was seen. And she was wearing, when she was seen, a white t-shirt, gray pants, and a pair of black slippers. Now, Kaylia is approximately 5 feet 6 inches tall. She is of dark complexion and slim build. All efforts to locate her have proven futile, and so anyone who have any information at all about the whereabouts of Kaylia, you're asked, please, to contact the Constant Spring Police Station, right? If you have any information about Kaylia Bryant, if you know anything at all, guys, she is missing 48 hours. It is still within time where she can be rescued wherever she is. She can be found. The trail has not yet gone cold. And so if anyone have any information at all concerning this young girl, 16 years of age, she would have been preparing now for her CSEC, right? Examination or thereabouts, right? If depending on because I did mine at 15, right? Everybody's different in terms of the age. When you are, our growth it's all different. We all grow at different stages, right? We all mature at different stages also. And so yes, so I was considered with a quote unquote bright child, having done my common entrance at the age of 10 and passed at the age of 10. Started high school at the age of 11 because my birthday is in August. So I started very young. Our batch was the youngest cohort in high school. So some students, and you have students who are younger, who did younger than me, even though we were very young for our batch. Thereafter, we had students who were younger than that, right? Because people develop at different stages, right? Absolutely. And so this girl, she is 16 years of age. We don't know whether she is, doing her CSEC or she would have been doing her CSEC or not, but she's 16 and she is missing. That's what's important now, is that we need to find her, right? We need to find her, guys. And so if you have any information, and please share this link with everybody you know. Spread the word, guys. Please help me to spread the word, guys. I see so many things going viral that are not important, right? And something as important as this, we don't share, guys. We need to learn to share the important thing. We need to learn to prioritize, right? And so I'm asking you, please share this link with everybody you know, every single person you're contact. Don't presume and assume to know whether they want it or not. Just share, and let this go viral. Let person see and recognize and know, you understand, that this young girl, right, she is 16 years of age and her parents, her family need her to come home. Okay, she is 16. She is 5 feet 6 inches approximately, slim built, dark complexion. So if you have information, and you can just call anonymously, you don't have to call and give your name. You can call anonymously 119 and give them information. You can go to your nearest police station and give that information, or you can call the Constant Spring Police. Their phone number is 876-924-1421. The number goes up to 2. So it's 876-924-1421 to 2. Okay. Whenever I hear these stories, guys, I'm telling you, it just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart. Yeah. And the Caribbean Examination Council story would have been next, but I'm going to skip that one because, as like I said today, that's what I'm dedicating the program to. So I will get back to the other story about the Caribbean Examination Council. Okay. Now, according to the Minister of Health and Wellness, for the first time, there has been no positive case of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19. Which, according to the minister, and I'm going to quote him, he says, it's a great achievement and a major step towards the right direction. Congratulations to all our public health care workers who are working tirelessly on the front line and are yielding great results, end quote. However, there are 58 pending samples for that same period. So guys, I have to comment on this, okay? Because, and I'm sorry, I know I should be happy, but I'm not. I can't be happy when I have information that is contrary to what I'm hearing, yeah? We have had, for the past 72 hours, 55 pending samples, right? 55 pending. You heard them. They know. Go back and look in all the press release. I'm not making this up. Go check the press releases that you've been given. I get the information from the same place you get the information. The only difference is maybe sometimes some of us are more observant than others, and some persons, prioritize. No, I look at numbers. I tell you, right, God is a God of numbers. And so when you throw numbers at me, you can't throw numbers at me, because even though I'm supposedly right-brained, which means I'm more creative, I love numbers. And so I play with numbers. Yeah. And when I hear numbers, I look at numbers, and I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm saying these numbers are not adding up, guys. I've been saying that to you for a while. These numbers are not adding up. And if we had, I reported it right here. Go into my library and look at some of my back episodes, right? And you will see, okay, on Wednesday, I told you that we had 55 pending samples. On Thursday, I told you we had 58 samples pending. On Tuesday, I told you we had 55 samples pending. Okay, so for the past 3 days, we've had over 55 samples pending. Right? So you telling me today that there is no positive case does not make me feel any better. You understand? It's not a cause for me to rejoice because there have been some samples that have been pending, right? And we don't know whether they're positive or they're negative. You understand? Not only that, and the question is, if it is a 24-hour turnaround period for you to get results, and I hear you can even get results sooner than that, then my question is, why is it that we have not been given the results of these pending samples, right? I am curious. I need to know. I want to know. Before I rejoice, I need answers. Before I rejoice, I need answers to the questions where I'm hearing that there are persons in quarantine who, for the past 2 weeks, they have been in quarantine because they are suspected, but they have not been sampled. So you don't know whether they're positive or not, right? There are persons who have had respiratory illnesses. There are persons who have been showing symptoms and they have not been tested. So you don't know whether they're positive or not. There are persons who are asymptomatic who have not tested. You don't know whether they are positive or negative. You understand? So I am not going to be, rejoicing at you telling me that we do not have any positives. Okay? That does not make me feel better at all. You understand? Absolutely not. Guys, and don't get me wrong, okay? And I know my priorities. I'm not a fearful person. I don't live in fear, because I know who I believe in. Okay, my Father God Almighty protects me. So it's not about fear when I'm talking. I'm concerned about information. You understand? Like I said, I'm a student of knowledge, and I'm sharing information with you so you can make informed decisions. So it's important to me that information that is coming to me is accurate. You understand? It is very important we can make informed decisions when we have accurate information. You can't give me inaccurate information and expect me to make informed decisions. You understand? And this is of national interest, if not international interest, as a matter of fact, because it has so much international interest that the Prime Minister was interviewed on CNN. You understand? And I'm going to come to that. But before I come to that, you understand? I'm going to continue and say that in response to allegations of poor service and substandard food being served in that facility, which we're talking about the Bahia, the Grand Bahia Principe in St. Anne, where they have now chosen to bring apparently everybody. I didn't even realize, guys, that even the Alarica staff, they are at the Bahia also. So, I mean, it seems like that is now the de facto government facility, is it? Everybody seems to be there. Anyways, there have been complaints, and I know you have seen it because those are the things that go viral, right? This doesn't go viral. This is too informative, I guess. I don't know. This doesn't go viral, but what goes viral, right, are the plate of food, the curry goat, and the curry chicken, right, and the stale food and the cold food have gone viral on social media, right, that have been served at the Grand Bahia, right, to our returnees and to those persons from the Alarica Call Center who are at the Bahia, right, in quarantine. So, in response to the allegations, of course, that they are serving, these poor food, the Prime Minister asked the Honourable Ministers, Dr. Christopher Tufton and Matthew Samuda, to visit the quarantine facility yesterday to get a first-hand view of the situation. So you would have seen that video also circulating where they were actually over by the Grand Bahia, right, doing a tour of the facility. So arising from that visit, the Prime Minister said the government has already taken some remedial actions and will, quote, do everything we can to completely rectify the situation. The Prime Minister tweeted yesterday on his Twitter account, right? He said, first of all, I must unreservedly apologize to every returning citizen, who has had to endure less than favorable conditions. The issues encountered are completely unacceptable. Okay. So, meanwhile, the Prime Minister, right, in addition to saying that, he was on CNN. So let me give you the CNN part now. Okay. Meanwhile, in its preparation to reopen the country to tourism, Jamaica is considering a type of safe travel corridor for tourists with up-to-date travel certificates or health passports in order to restart the tourism industry. Right? He was speaking with Richard Quest yesterday on CNN, right? On the program Quest means business, right? The gentleman name is Richard Quest, and so they had the interview via Skype, right? So the interview featured clips of tourists enjoying Jamaica and focused primarily on how Jamaica was trying to open up its tourism sector as quickly as possible while protecting its citizens. Prime Minister, the Prime Minister announced the up, the Prime Minister announced the upcoming interview on his social media platforms. Quest first asked the Prime Minister, how likely would it be for Jamaica to get the economy as close as possible to full capacity as he had previously stated? His response was, it's a very realistic proposition. Excuse me. And then he invited Quest to be the one of the first tourists to come back to Jamaica. Safety and livelihood are his government's top two priorities, he shared. I don't see a trade off between health and economy. And I'm quoting him. He says, you need healthy people to make an economy work, and working economy gives you healthy people, he said, noting that tourism plays a very important role and that the country relies heavily on the industry, with tourism as the number one foreign exchange earner and accounting for over 50% of the foreign exchange that the country earns. But Quest wondered, how possible would it be to create a safe travel corridor, especially with the high rate of COVID-19 infection in the US? And so the Prime Minister responded, we have to plan in advance and anticipate when our largest markets will be ready for us. Right? Adding that the country is preparing beforehand and anticipating the time when the tourist markets from such places as the US, Canada, and Europe will be ready to come. He said his would not be the first global shock that the tourism would have had, and that in the Caribbean, we are aware of these shocks and we are resilient. On the protocols being planned, Mr. Prime Minister said, we are already figuring out ways how we can have controlled corridors of entry and how to move our tourists safely from the airports to the hotels so that they can enjoy our lovely beaches and our lovely people. We are training our workers towards providing the kind of service that people will need in the post-COVID environment. Quest then queried how the travel certificate or health passport would work, given that someone could become infected the day after getting tested. So the Prime Minister responded, it's the information that is important, noting that the health profile would help the visitor be aware of the protocols that would have to follow and would allow the government to, quote, determine the risk profile of the visitor who is coming. There, of course, were mixed views from persons who were watching this interview. Some persons agreed with the Prime Minister and some were against. One such person says, the whole world is admiring you, while another simply replied, madness. And I have to echo that last commenter and say, madness. It is madness. Isn't it madness, guys? I have to tell you this one, okay? All right. So now you see how much we know what we've gone through. You see what the world is going through, right? The world is still, and including Jamaica, as far as I'm concerned, he said, and I tell you, I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but these people are pushing me in that regard because I'm saying there are so many unanswered questions. There's so many missteps. There's so many issues that are not being sorted out. And there's so many misinformation and no information. You understand? One has to question. You understand? One has to question. Now, here it is. We know that the COVID-19 is still on the rise in many countries. We know that. In France, okay, it is, when I get international news, I give you that. Yeah, it is still on the rise in other countries also, in South Korea. And as far as I'm concerned, it is in the rise in Jamaica also. We're just not being told. And I've said it. Yes, I've said it. Because when you have 55 pending from Tuesday and you've not given us the result of those tests, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it is still on the rise. You're just not telling me. and until proven otherwise, right? You've heard the saying, guys, in the absence of information, people will make their own conclusions. Huh? Absolutely. And that's why I give you information, guys, so you can make informed decisions. So when you withhold information, I will come to my own conclusion. You have 55 pending Tuesday, 55 pending Wednesday, 58 pending Thursday, and then you're telling me that we have no positive case. And now you're telling me it is not in the COVID is not in the rise, it's not on the rise in Jamaica. And so you're ready to open up. Huh? I have to ask, what is your agenda? You heard me, guys. You go back and look into my previous episodes, and you will see I've been asking this question. What is your agenda? Because you're up to something. You have an agenda. Didn't I say that? You've heard me saying it, right? Absolutely. Because everything they do, I mean, they can't be that stupid. Absolutely not. And they're not. These are not stupid people. These are bright people. These are intelligent. These are smart people. Yeah. So one has to wonder, what is it that you're up to? You know? And guys, remember, I tell you, I said that's why we don't judge them, because we can't see hearts. We see the outward appearance, but we don't see the heart. It's only God can see that. He's the one who is omniscient and who can see the heart. And that's why God he exposes. And that's why he's the only one who can expose. And he exposes, because anything in the dark comes to light because of his exposure. Because people are keep on doing things in the dark. You don't see what is going on in their hearts. And you see the smile on their faces. And you listen to the lies that are spewed out of their lips, right? And you don't know what is going on in their heart. Huh? That's just the reality, guys. It's just the reality. So here it is. Mr. Dr. the Honorable Edmund Bartlett was on Beyond the Headlines with Dion Jackson Miller the other day. And he couldn't even explain asymptomatic. He did not even understand. Dion has to be explaining to him what asymptomatic means. Yeah? Because it's talking about people being asymptomatic and being tested. Right? And showing symptoms, And Dion is saying, by virtue of the fact that it is asymptomatic, it means that they're not showing any symptom, Mr. Minister, right? They're not showing any symptom. That's why they're asymptomatic. So you can't say they're asymptomatic at the same time saying they're showing symptoms. Huh? No, that's a paradox right there, right? Yeah. And I'm saying, and the point I'm making is that these guys, they're just throwing words at us and throwing numbers at us and just act as though, we are some illiterate set of people who don't understand anything that is happening, yeah? Just insulting our intelligence left, right, and center. Enough, man. Enough. You can't be doing that to us. And here it is. On Sunday, right, some more persons will be coming into the island. And you see the problem they're having right now, guys? Yes. And you didn't hear that, right? Nobody has said that to you. Because we don't have a press conference where we can ask a Q&A, where we can ask these probing questions. Yeah, this how that works, right? Only when we have press conferences where we can ask probing questions are we given information. So now we're not told that on Sunday, we're going to have more people coming into the island. Yes, today is Friday and you didn't know, right? No, you know. Yeah, we have persons who are coming into the island on Sunday on a ship. Yeah, I should give you that story. But before I give you that story, I'm going to give you that story. Absolutely. You need to hear that story. But before I give you that one, let me continue with the news. And I have to get back to my Caribbean Examination Council story because it is important for you to know. Okay. So, continuing with the news, guys. Andre Russell, Andre Russell, right, from the Jamaica Tallawahs? Well, guess what? He has been retained. Yay! Congratulations, Andre. So he will be playing again for the Jamaica Tallawahs in the next season, right? Yeah. And in the same breath, we have 5 Jamaicans who have been chosen for the West Indies cricket team for their next season also, yeah? And I know, of course, there was this big thing between Andre Russell and Chris Gayle. Okay, apparently it didn't have any negative effect on Andre Russell's career or his future, right? Unfortunately, Chris Gayle might not be so fortunate because as I understand it, that the West Indies Cricket Board are considering sanctions against Chris Gayle, this guy's not a baby guy. That Chris Gayle is 40 years of age, Chris Gayle. So it's no chicken, right? You would think that these guys would know better than to go on social media and hear their dirty laundry, huh? And then you'd think that they would understand that whatever you do on social media have some adverse effect on you. Yeah, you'd think they'd get that, right? You see how many persons go on Facebook and they are sorry because after going on Facebook and their employer see their post, they are fired, or before they are even hired, because some of them don't even get hired, much as to be fired, because the prospective employer goes on Facebook and look at their profile and see the post that they have posted. Yeah. Mm? And say, well, this person does not suit our image at all. Our corporate image must be maintained. And so we can't have this person representing us. Huh? Mm-hmm. And you would think these people would learn by now, right? Come on, guys. Personal growth and development. I know we're not all there yet, but we have to strive to get there, don't it? Yeah, that is the point. And so, Chris Gayle, you see what happened. I told you, right? I mentioned it in the previous episode, guys, again. Yeah. So, see what happens now, right? Andre Russell, he was quite, I think, cognizant of the fact that he was on social media. So, I think he weighed his words quite, carefully before he spoke. And while he was disgruntled and upset, naturally, who wouldn't be, his responses were, within, an appropriate level, so to speak, right? Chris Gayle, on the other hand, was just spewing it out like that. And so there might be sanctions against him. More to come, I will let you know. But we say congratulations to all our 5 Jamaican players who have made it to the West Indies cricket team. Go with God and do your best. Yeah, maybe you may make a difference and actually take the West Indies team out of the slump that they are in. And guys, the West Indies team is to be on top. I mean, West Indies team, they defined cricket, didn't they? Everyone looked up to them to emulate them. Yeah. Now they're at the bottom of the trenches. But anyway, we expect, great thing for them coming post COVID-19, don't we? Absolutely. And so we wish you all the best, guys, and we are praying for you that you will do well in the next bout when it's said and done. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. All right. And so now, let me now give you now some this my CXC story, because I want to talk about our children today as National Children's Day, and the month being Child Month. No child gets left behind. We can't leave our children behind. Okay. So, the Caribbean Examination Council has maintained its position that the CSEC exams will go forward in July, according to the registrar at CXC, Dr. Wayne Wesley. He was speaking yesterday with Emily Shields at the virtual town hall meeting on Radio Jamaica. According to Dr. Wesley, the decision was made after consultation with the Ministries of Education, teachers, employers, principals, and other key stakeholders. According to Dr. Wesley, the Council of Human and Social Development, COSOD, made the decision last Friday after a majority vote of its members comprising of education ministries in CARICOM. There are approximately 130,000 candidates across the region sitting CXC this year, according to Dr. Wesley. And of that number, guys, as we learned from Emily Shields on the program, I think from the Ministry of the acting education officer, there are 75,000 Jamaican students who are actually sitting CXC or scheduled to sit CXC this year. Yeah, candidates, 75,000 candidates. Earlier in the week, Minister with responsibility for education, the Honorable Carl Samuda, had indicated that Jamaica could not endorse that date. But according to Acting Chief Education Officer, Dr. Kassan Troop, the ministry's position has not changed. However, by Monday, May 18th, Cabinet would have made a decision as to the way forward for our children. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so let me give you the full story, the background of this, guys. I'm gonna read to you and this story was from March, because what I'm gonna say is very relevant to this. Now, listen to this article that was printed on the 26th day of March 2020. The Caribbean Examinations Council CXC, considering the impact of the COVID-19 across the region, has pushed its summer exams online and much later than the regular May-June cycle. Okay. In a statement made on Thursday, March 26th, this as CXC watched the outbreak unfold, it made a policy decision to administer an online multiple choice exam in July, as well as utilize the school-based assessment at the SBAs, right, to shape final grades for this cohort of students. The regional body said that in its consultations with ministries of education and tertiary institutions across the region, right, a consensus was needed. Quote, the council recognizes the impact of COVID-19 on the education system in general, and more specifically on the schedule of CXC's examinations. Accordingly, the council has proposed a revised examination strategy to yield valid grades and minimize the disruption to the education system during these unprecedented times. Consequently, the council has made the policy decision to offer a modified examination process. At least one common paper as a multiple choice assessment will be administered to students. SBAs and paper 032s, the SBA alternative for private candidates, will be combined and a final grade awarded based on the moderated criteria. What's more, the CXC noted that there would be exceptions to the online testing process for modern languages, that is French, Spanish, and Portuguese, right? Human and social biology and the visual arts, as, quote, candidates will be required to complete additional components. The strategy of e-testing, the CXC continued, will employ both offline and online modalities to, quote, reduce the examination administration processing time, resulting in the shortest turnaround time for making and the release of examination results. In addition, it will provide an opportunity for the timely presentation of grades to facilitate matriculation to higher education or to access employment. This also minimizes disruption to the 2021 academic year. The CXC explained that while the revised timeline for the exams is in July, it will continue to monitor the situation and be guided nationally protocols across the Caribbean. I think that was an inaccurate English statement. I think it should be guided by national. That's probably left out the word by national protocols across the Caribbean. Yeah, guys. Notice the date of that article. That article was written on the 26th day of March. Yeah, on the 26th day of March, it was said that they were going to have exams in July. They had modified the criteria, right? And they had modified, the policies. And so now this was all planned or prepared or pre-planned, right? Since March for July. We're now in the month of May, right? So we have had since March 26th, right? We have March to April 26th. We don't reach May 26th yet. So it's just basically a month and a half, so to speak, give or take, right? And then now the exam is now going to be, right? Today is the 15th of May. And so it's going to be in July, right? So approximately 2 months ahead of us for exams, right? Give or take. Mm-hmm. All right. When I first heard about, doing the CSEC in July, guys, I must admit I was one of those persons who were against it and was saying, no, they can't sit the exam in July. They can't sit the exam in July, okay? And to be honest, after listening to the program yesterday, okay, and listen to all the presenters, right? The principal for Hardin was there, the principal for Malden was on the program, Dr. Wesley was on the program, and the registrar for CXC was on the program, okay? What's her name again? I'm sorry, I forgot her name. The acting minister, or officer, the education officer, I soon tell you her name. She also was on the program. And so after listening to all of them, then I was like, okay, maybe maybe we can actually do the exam. We can actually do the exam in July, right? Yeah, Dr. Kassan Troop, sorry, Dr. Kassan Troop, the acting chief education officer in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Kassan Troop, right? Sorry. So after listening to all of them guys, and I'm listening, and reading that article, listening to them, and thinking, thinking about it, using my little brain that God gave to me, I've come to the conclusion that the possibility exists that they could actually do the exam in July. The problem we're having, guys, the problem again is the missteps, the missteps. What this has shown me, guys, and I think it is being exposed somewhat, how broken our education system is. Yeah? Our education system is so broken. Okay, so first of all, we were told from March 26th that here it is, we are going to have the exam in July. What then should have happened? Okay, instead of sitting down and saying, okay, you can't, because think about it, guys, think about it. And I was thinking about this. No new material should be taught in reality. If you're sitting exam, because you'd have thought the exam May, June, in normal circumstances, the exam was supposed to have been done May, June, right? So that by the end of this month, you would have been doing the exam anyway, right? You would have been doing your CSEC exam by the end of this month, where this is the 15th of March. So therefore, no new material is being taught at this point in time. No new material. So what you're basically doing, right? You're doing your SBAs, and you're doing your SBAs, and you're basically studying, diligently to do your exam. That's what you have been doing. So in actuality, students are more or less prepared to do their exam at this point in time, right? To some extent. The real problem we really have right now, and it is a big problem, don't get me wrong, is the fact that mentally, how prepared are the students mentally in light of what they're going through, right? Because some students would have been going through some hardships in terms of their family, right? Familial problems with internet, and other problems that they would have been having at home, maybe problems, social, economic problems, right, with the family because of COVID-19. So that would have some kind of negative impact on them mentally, right? But by and large, the average high school student, and considering the fact that I was once an high school student, and when I was growing up and as a teenager and going through my mess what I was going through at that point in time, and hardship that I was going through, and I was having some serious challenges that I was going through. But nevertheless, I still, through my challenges that I was going through at that time, okay, yeah, I still managed to get a 1 in English and 1 in accounts. Yeah, because, I mean, I'm not the brightest, right? They're brighter than me. But the fact is, right, even from that time, I knew I had a propensity for the English language, and it was just a natural gift, I think, that God gave me. But in addition to that, I basically studied, and I wasn't a big studier like some persons either, because can I tell you something? I did general maths in high school, not ad maths. I could have done ad maths. My form teacher wanted me to do ad maths, but I refused to study, which I would have had to do ad maths. And so I just did general maths. That was me. I really wasn't a big studier in high school, to be honest with you. I wasn't. Okay. But there are students who study very hard. I know that, and I see them. You understand? And so the point being, what I'm saying is, at this point in time, what we're going through in COVID-19 will not have such a negative impact on majority students for them to do poorly in the exam, is what I'm saying. Because young people, teenagers, have this propensity, they have an acuity to be able to do well even through hardships. They have that resilience. It's a reality, it's a fact. We go through things. I remember my time in high school. I remember when I went through my hardships and my struggles. But we as young people have the capacity to be able to be resilient through hardships. So they can do well even though we're going through COVID-19 at this point in time. Yeah. So from that standpoint, I'm saying, yes, they can do the exam. It doesn't make sense at this point to put off the exam for a later time, because they would have already been studying for the exam, and they would have already have had, there are no new material being taught. So they would have already been prepared mentally for it to some extent, right? Not only that, based on what I have heard from Dr. Wesley speaking and what I read in the article, it seems to me that the solution or the proposition that was presented, the proposition that was presented was a good one. You understand? What Nothing is wrong with the idea of what they're proposing to do. And what I did not understand, and I got it clearly now, is that you did not have to do a e-test. The e-test is an option because the e-test make it easier for some persons to do the exam. And not only make it easier for them to do the exam, but also in terms of grading and so on and so forth for the body, for the council, you understand? And it would have been easier for them under the circumstances to do an e-testing. However, the possibility exists for them to do a paper-based exam. You understand? And in addition to doing the paper-based exam, there are also things being put in place wherein they could also do, for example, go online and download the paper, okay, in a controlled environment, write the paper, and then upload back the paper. That's also an option. You understand? Now, we didn't get all this information, did we? So we could make informed decisions. No, we did not. You understand? But the Ministry of Education knew. Now, here it is now, last Friday, they had an emergency meeting because they had to finalize. Because here's the thing. As Dr. Wesley rightly pointed out, and you read it in the article, and you heard in the article, the decision is not just dependent upon the Caribbean. Universities require information so that they can make their informed decisions also. And normally they would have had by this time some idea of the persons who they are going to want to invite for a scholarship or otherwise to come to their university come September, right? And since it is already a foregone conclusion that the school's term is reopening in September, so by May, June, July, universities want to know who are the new cohorts for their freshman year. Yeah, absolutely. And so they would have been trying to figure this out and contacting the schools. Now, if it is that we put this off from July, all of these students would be at a disadvantage. They would not be able to go to university come September, you understand? And so now they would either have to go and get a job or they'll be at home come September, right? Because once they're set their CXC, they're done, right? So they're not going back to school September. So they're either going to be at home or looking for a job, yeah? And so it is for those students who are looking forward to going to university come September, they would of course be looking forward to sitting the exam so that they can be successful and they can hopefully get a scholarship to start university come September. So you see, it's a bigger thing, guys. It's not how we're looking at it. We were looking at it too narrowly. We had to broaden our vision to look at it at a broader level. So here it is now, I am saying, based on what I have heard, guys, I'm saying if these guys were thinking, then they would have put certain infrastructure in place to assist our Jamaican students so that they would not be at a disadvantage at this point in time. So now they're at a great disadvantage, you understand? Not because of the fact that we have COVID-19 per se, but because of the poor infrastructure that we have in the Ministry of Education. Now, I was listening carefully to these educators, and I love what Nadine Malloy said, right? Nadine Malloy, she is the principal for Arden High School. Now, Arden High School, apparently, because you know Arden High School have their an active PTA, Parents Association, right? They have an active alumni association, right? And so they have not been adversely affected by COVID-19, based on what Mrs. Malloy said. So they're one of the fortunate few. Unfortunately, there are other institutions that are not that fortunate. And Maldon High School, which I didn't even know where Maldon High School was. It was so good. It's good to really listen to these programs, guys. I'm telling you, knowledge is power. Information is how you get it. So apparently, it is 16 miles south of Montego Bay, Maldon, right? It is in a rural part of South St. James. And they have challenges with internet and other challenges naturally because in a rural area, right? But of course, they have major challenge for them is the internet. And so many students have not been able to access it and to do anything online. So they would have a big challenge, you understand, with regard to their CSEC. However, even that principal, Janet Manning, even she is saying, to be honest with you, I think we should just have the exam and get it over and done with and let our students have the exam. No, here is what Nadine Malloy was saying. Everybody, the Ministry of Education, Transportation, because I didn't even know. And I got that information from Dr. Catherine Troop that they have. Did you know that persons who are on the PASS program, they are bused to school? Did you know that? Yes, buses come and take them to school. Yes. So here it is now, therefore, what we're saying, right? Guys, all the stakeholders come together. Parents, teachers, principals, Minister of Education, Transportation Authority, all of you come together and you sit down and you figure out how best, because, okay, here it is. We have 75,000 students. And this is another question, here it is now. Can I tell you something, guys? We are human beings, we are humans, and institutions are made up of people. So, can I tell you something? When I was listening to this, one thing came into my mind. I was saying, you know what? On the one hand, I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. COSAD could have been saying, listen, I told you guys from March to get your act together because we're going to do this. And here you're going to come to me on Friday. Now, you didn't even come. You didn't even send your minister. You sent your permanent secretary to come to the meeting. And now you're going to tell us that we should think about you specifically when we're making our decisions. I'm not saying that's what happened to the guy, but I'm saying we're human beings, right? And it's very much possible because it's humans who are voting. And apparently on Friday, when they did the vote, right, majority voted to have the exam in July. Trinidad said no, Jamaica said no, right? And interestingly, we make up the majority of the cohort because if you check it out, it's either 125, it's between 125,000 to 130,000 candidates, right, across CARICOM, right, and 75,000 alone belong to Jamaica, right? That's almost 50%, right? And then in addition to that, 20% belongs to Trinidad. So 69% of the total amount of students who are sitting the exam is from Jamaica and Trinidad alone. And yet the decision was made to go ahead and have it, right? And I'm saying maybe if the Minister of Education, the minister with responsibility for education, had showed up at the meeting on Friday instead of being at the cabinet meeting, right? It shows priority, right? It shows priority, what his priorities are. He went at a cabinet meeting. He sent his permanent secretary to go to the CARICOM meeting. And so the permanent secretary at the CARICOM meeting was representing the education minister, acting education minister, right? So I'm saying based on that, that could also have a factor or factored into them voting in that direction. Anything is possible, don't it? Absolutely. So I'm saying no. Anyway, be that as it may, the decision has been ruled that they're having the exam. But I'm saying based on what they're offering, it's not a bad idea. We can still do it. Based on what the Dr. Troop said, it's only 10% SBAs are outstanding. Understandably, the SBAs would have gone in by now, right? But because of COVID-19, there are 10% SBAs that are outstanding. So we can make necessary arrangements to get that sorted out, don't it? Absolutely. If it's only 10%, 90% have done, and they're using the SBAs as a part of the grading system, right? So only 10%. Work with the students so that we can get that 10% done, right? It is an option to do e-testing versus paper testing. Forget about e-testing and do paper testing. We know we don't have the infrastructure for e-testing. Many people, 31,000 students alone, don't even have access to internet. Plus, all of us who have access to internet, some of us have so many challenges with it, you understand? So forget about the e-testing and let's do paper-based testing. Now, they say that there are 260 centers across the island. But guess what? The school's out, right? School's closed. So we have more than 260 centers. Utilize the entire school system, right? All the schools. And what you do, it's much easier for you to have the students in the area that is closest to the center for them to go to that center. So all the onus is on you right now. If you have to bring in some people and have them work overtime, it's okay. They need the extra money right now anyway. And then what you try to do is now you get the register and you go to the list of persons, 75,000 is a lot of students. I understand that, okay? And so you get the necessary human resource to help you to get this done. You can, right? Bring in all the teachers and all the retired teachers, everybody in there. And then what you do, right, is you sit down and you say, okay, 10 students or 20, and because you're practicing social distancing. So for example, in normally one room would have had 40 students. You can't have that anymore. So instead of having the 40 students in that room, you'd probably have only 15 students or 10 students in that room. So now you're going to utilize all your school facilities. Utilize all of them because they're all closed anywhere, okay? And utilize all of them. And then now what you do is you have the students goes to these centers. All of them are now centers. You make all of them centers to do their exams. And you do paper-based exam. Simple. Now, the challenge is going to be, of course, the logistics. We know is transporting these students to the exam location. So what you do now, as it was suggested, you get JUTC involved, Metro involved, Montego Bay Metro involved, and all the other. And maybe you have to bring in some private contractors also with transportation to bus the students. It is very, very, very possible. It can be done. It can be done. The 75,000 students are not in Montego Bay or Kingston. They're across the island. Yeah? And so I'm saying, guys, let us at this point, and it was suggested also that students probably might need to be, need to go back to school, so to speak, for at least a 2-week period or so, to a little refresher, because normally you've done a mock exam, guys, and there is no mock exam. You understand? So you probably would want to use that. Do a little mock exam, guys. You got to be proactive, man. You got to be proactive, right? Stop airing your dirty laundry and showing people how inadequate you are. You guys are supposed to be brilliant people. You're educators. You're the ones who are educating the nation. And they always say, if the top of the stream is dirty, the bottom dirty too, you lead by example. So you guys, come on, you're educators. You have your PhDs, your EDDs, and all your Ds. And the letters behind your names. Come on. Okay? Let us see why you have them. Okay? Now it's an opportunity to shine. Guys, in a crisis, one shines in a crisis. You understand? If you have it, you shine. If you don't have it, you don't shine. So right now is the time to shine, Ministry of Education. You understand? You're deliberating, as Dr. Wesley said, not in so many words, but you could infer it, that they were deliberating too long. Deliberation is too long. You're deliberating about for so long. Okay, we're going to get an answer. They say on Monday the 18th, we will have an answer. But I hope that answer is that, yes, we're going to have the examination in July. Okay, and we are going to do everything in our power to ensure that our students are able to sit that exam. Okay, because as Dr. Wesley said, there are several, even the Education USA and Education USA, they were on the phone with some 70 plus universities, I understand, in conference, virtual meeting, asking the question, when will we have the information with regard to the results of the exams so we can make our decisions? And they were told by sometime in the first week in July that they'll have the information. You understand? That's what they were told. So anyways, that is not going to happen. That would have happened if we had that exam May, June. But because the exam is going to be now in July, they have to push forward push back the date when they would have gotten the results. And so later on in July is when that information will be given to Education USA. And even the US Embassy is interested in this information. So it's not a local thing, guys. It's a global thing. It's a national, it's an international situation here, right? Wherein, so it's not, what is happening is that we act as usual, as though everything surrounds us and the world revolves around us. And unfortunately, the world doesn't revolve around us. You understand? All that happens that we get left behind, right? So in order not to get left behind, we do what we must. You understand? And so that is my 2 cents with regard to that. Hoping that they will put things in place, right? Put infrastructure in place. It's not too late. It's now the 15th of March. You have a month and a half, right? If not 2 months. Okay, it depends on what date in July. We didn't get a date in July. It could be the 15th of July. If the 15th of July, we have 2 months. That's a good amount of time, guys, when we can put this together and we can get this done. Yes, we can do it. We can do it. Go and do it. Okay, for our children depend on us to do this. All right. It's about infrastructure. It's about logistics. It's about using the aid that God give us and sit down and brainstorm and come up with solution. There's a problem that needs to be solved. Remember how you solve a problem. You identify the problem. Look at all the solutions, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc., etc., etc. Choose the right solution. You want to have the most pros and the least cons. Yeah. And then you run with it, implement it. Yeah. So let's do that for our children, guys. Okay. Our children need to do their CXC in July, and it's going to happen. All right. Amen. Yeah. Okay, guys. That was my 2 cents. And of course, excuse me. Sorry. I am going to end the program today with a little bit of international news for you. Yes, a little international news to end the program today. So did you know that Antigua and Barbuda, the government says it will reopen its international airport on June 1st as the country moves to rehabilitate its economy in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah. And in the last 24 hours, the United States of America recorded 1,724 COVID-19 deaths. Yes, yesterday, Thursday, in the US, they had 1,754 deaths. US health authorities issued an alert over a rare but sometimes deadly autoimmune condition among children that is believed to be linked to COVID-19, right? The illness, which the CDC, that is the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, called multi-symptom inflammatory syndrome in children, the MISC, was first reported in Britain in late April. And they have another one that is associated to COVID-19, which is a Kawasaki-like disease, a 9-year-old boy who died in France from it, right? According to doctors today, Friday. France, since yesterday, reported 351 new COVID-19 deaths in hospitals and nursing homes. Yesterday alone, yes, France recorded 351 deaths of COVID-19. Yeah, the US has so far recorded 85,906 confirmed COVID-19 deaths, making it the hardest hit country in the world. Can you believe that, guy? Meanwhile, England has recorded 33,614 deaths. Italy, 31,368 deaths. Spain, 27,459 deaths. And France rounds out that top 5 with 27,425 deaths. Yeah. And here it is. We want to open our borders for all these persons to come in. Yeah. I want to know what they're going to come and do anyway. Let me tell you something. Persons who are running to come to Jamaica, just so you know, they want, because my father wants to come too. They want to run away from America. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to run away from COVID-19. That's the only reason they want to come. They want to run away from COVID-19. You see? And worse, because they hear that there's going to be a resurgence in the fall of greater proportion, with much more deaths. So everybody wants to vacate and come back to Jamaica at this point in time. That's the only reason. So you opening up your borders at this point in time, I don't know why you think it's a wise move, but I pray because my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So I pray that with information, you will start to make informed and wise decisions, because the decision that you make affects us all, right? Whether we agree with it or not, it will affect us. Every single one of us will be affected by the decision that our government make or concerning our lives. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Okay, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's program. I hope you learned something from it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Okay? Give it a thumbs up, please. Give it a thumbs up, okay? And remember to share the program, man. Share it with your friends and family, okay? Comment on it, right? Absolutely. And subscribe. Guys, today we had a wonderful program. There was no breaks in it. Thank God for that, Lord. I love my Father so much. Amen. And we take the bitter with the sweet. Even when it drops, I still thank Him. Because in everything I give Him thanks, okay? But we're happy when the feed does not fall, right? We're happy when we have a straight through broadcast like this. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers for subscribing. Yes, continue to subscribe, guys. Yes, please. And remember that I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Omega News JA. Right on Facebook, you can even send me direct messages, DM me on it. Right, share your experience. Whether you like the program or not, what you'd like me to talk about when I talk on the program. Also, if you want to come onto the program, you can also give me information, right? Yeah. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy, guys, for you guys who are out there subscribing. I feel blessed that I'm able to do this, what I'm doing, because like I told you, I didn't have any plans to do this at all. I had no plan. Father God Himself used COVID-19 to get me here, right? And so, as a student of knowledge, I'm here to share what I know with you, and hopefully that you will do likewise. Okay, we're all on this journey together. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. Okay, and so, as you know, I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be back on Sunday at 1 p.m. Okay, so until then, enjoy the rest of the day, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you on Sunday, God willing. And as always, I say to you, stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you. Bye.